Theresa May is running out of people to lie to. Her nascent agreement to the EU's proposal of an extension of the transition period, annualised cost of an extra £8.6 billion in net contributions to the EU, or to put that in a more meaningful way, 10 new hospitals, betrays the last few hardliners in her party willing to go along with Chequers on the basis that to be out is all that really matters. They are now in open rebellion, unmollified by the obvious lie the PM tried to spin this morning. A further idea has emerged, and it is an idea at this stage, and it is to create an option to extend the implementation stage for a matter of months, and it would only be for a matter of months. But the point is, this is not expected to be used, an idea for an option that won't be used. Do us a favor, Mrs. May. She's desperate, like a gambling addict trying to convince the bank manager that she needs an overdraft but has no intention of spending it. And she's pretending any of this has got a chance to get past the meaningful vote in Parliament. In the immortal words of that great philosopher Daffy Duck, I'm so crazy, I don't know, this is impossible. Woo, but wait. A meaningful vote in Parliament. Remember that one, the guarantee so hard one that formed the basis of Parliament voting through the EU withdrawal bill way back in October 2016, which secured MPs the final say on the deal the PM brought back from Brussels? Parliament schmarlament. Dominic Raab, the Prime Minister's grinning Brexit bag carrier, today suggests that was all a big fat lie as well. The meaningful vote must be unequivocal, which those of a cynical nature, and that's everyone in Britain by now, are taking to mean it's back to take it or leave it. Parliament's favourite curry house held a referendum on its menu. Here we stand, once more gazing at the fruits of Brexit and the restoration of parliamentary sovereignty, and hearing ourselves say out loud, what the actual F***, we're not alone. The EU 27 has pretty much had enough. If you thought the endless bickering and tantrums we've been enjoying domestically for the past couple of years were fun, just wait until the Europeans get stuck in. All the smiles, all the bonhomie, they're disappearing faster than Boris Johnson's leadership chances. Yesterday the PM gave a 10-minute pitch for flexibility and compromise to EU leaders before she was escorted from the dining room. On the record, descriptions from those in attendance ranged from positive body language to more empty upbeat phrases. Positive body language. Well, that's something, I suppose. Certainly better than the actual naked abuse and vitriol phase which will shortly be upon us. Brexit is getting nasty. Kamal Ahmed on the changing face of Britain. The two people who matter most in the negotiation, Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel, shed a little light on what awaits us if we're expecting the EU to roll over and play nice. EU 27 will stand firm, the previously reticent Merkel said. Not another centimetre will be given. Macron went further, if we leave without a deal, he's going to make us all get visas for our Paris-City breaks. Now I know the metropolitan elite get hammered for a lot of stuff these days, but making the already cramped conditions at St. Pancras even less bearable is pure spite. There's plenty more where that came from. They're not fools. Far from being the dictatorial bullies they're painted to be in the splashes of the Daily Express, the EU has been patient and clear. The bizarre argument that they should be flexible about the four freedoms at the core of the Union, to appease a country that voted to leave the Union because it didn't like the four freedoms, is, sadly, quite normal these days in the parallel logic of hardcore Brexiteers. Cannabis legalization UK, when will Britain join the wacky races? And if they won't budge, and we won't budge, or can't budge since Arlene Foster won't let us, then what point is an extension to the implementation time anyway? The problems of Brexit are insoluble. If they weren't, even this bunch of cack-handed cartoon schemers would have found a way by now. And that truth cuts both ways. Anyone pretending a people's vote, which, for clarity, I have been campaigning for in the new European from way back, when to do so was to be accused of being deranged, will solve this mess as equally diluted. Whatever happens, or doesn't happen, on the 29th of March 2019, the UK has done itself enormous and irreversible self-harm. The most difficult question I'm ever asked as a standard-bearer of the Met-elite Remainer class is this: even if you lot won another referendum, wouldn't that make things even worse than they are now? It's a difficult question, because the answer is yes. Of course, it's going to get worse than it is now. The grievances dividing Britain today are speculative and fluid. Soon they will become real and permanent. Andy Burnham is right to say there could be civil disturbance. There are going to be an awful lot of very angry people around. In many ways, in the short term, a reversal of Brexit is the worst possible outcome. Imagine, maybe you don't have to imagine, though if you were a hardcore Brexiteer and you got this far down the article, you deserve a prize, how you would feel if you voted to leave and, despite all the chaos ever since the referendum, your confidence that it's still the right thing to do has not shaken. To lose that prize now would induce a burning indignation that could bend your sanity towards all manner of ugly possibilities. Reverse Brexit, and that will happen. But the calculation that trumps that, in my view, is the immediate risk of harm to millions of people through the initial economic shock of Brexit, and the extended harm it will do to us all, as Britain discovers the truth about life as a small island on the edge of the world's biggest trading bloc. Why Brexit and the Northern Ireland border issue remains center stage. If we think the French and Germans are hard to deal with from inside the EU, they will be exponentially worse once unleashed from our restraining influence. As John Major said in his powerful speech this week, the UK will no longer be a buffer between the Franco-German steamroller and smaller nations. Germany will be more isolated, and friction may grow. He's not talking about lorry queues on the M20, or car parts not showing up on time, or fishermen ramming each other's boats over scallops. He's talking about a dangerous descent of much greater consequence than the future of our small island nation. This really is crunch time. It's not just Theresa May's self-preservation at stake, but the whole of Europe's. And the notion we appear to be clinging to, that the EU 27 are going to cave in and give Britain the nudge it needs to achieve Brexit, it is the biggest lie of them all. Read more. Serious damage has been done thanks to Brexit. Theresa May is going nowhere, so brace for a no-deal Brexit. Who should be blamed for what Brexit did to Britain?